This is episode 87.
Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Helping you keep your finger firmly pressed on the decking industry, the people in it, and the information you need to master the backyard. And now, host of the Ultimate Deck Podcast, Shane Chapman.
Shane, Wade, Bryce, mastering backyards. Giving you the tools.
Bold statement.
So you can also master the backyards. All of them.
Nope.
Except your own. You don't have time for that.
Just do your own backyard.
That's a big enough task in my household. It's taking a while to get that done. But,
Yeah, you got a big backyard.
well, I did before I built a whole bunch of random things in it.
And then put a shed here.
Deck
then
here, a garage there, another deck here, playhouse here, sandbox there, swings there.
What's your lawnmower look like? Is it just like a pair of scissors
Fast. It's fast. My lawnmower is really fast.
now? Done.
Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't feel like doing this today. Let's,
It's because you've been drinking.
we'll see you guys next week. Okay, fine.
Best episode ever.
Okay. So we have a topic today, and it took me a while to come up with this one. I spent 20 minutes doing the thinking man pose on a box of screws, and it was bad because I was not influencing my staff too well because they kept walking in, and I'm just like hanging out my phone, staring like a sad puppy. And
Did you have to push one of the students off of the boxes of screws so you could sit there?
Yeah, I was like, "Excuse me,
I want to sit here now.
I'd like to sit here and do that." So it took a while, but what I came up with was
They do a lot of sitting, Bryce.
and they laughed at me
It's
because
unbelievable.
because they're not deck people.
they're
This is
younger
summer
than
jobs
you.
for them, right? And I was like, I don't know how to come. And they're like, well, what if you did this? I was like, done that. What if you did this? Did that? I was like, listen, we're 87 episodes in about decks. How much more is there to talk about?
Decks.
Like, we almost need to just sunset this thing and ride off on, like, just, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it all.
13 episodes. Let's do that. Let's get 100 and then...
But then I realized that we hadn't talked about it all. We missed this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we'll keep going then.
We're live on the Instagram again. If anybody wants to join in and have comments, have comments. And this is one where I would actually like some feedback from the contractors in this thing.
Let's arm
because
wrestle.
We've got, who won the arm wrestle? We
that
never
never
got that far.
happened.
It didn't
It never
happen.
happened.
That seems like it should be a deck shop shorts.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take long. It'd be over.
It'll be the shortest of shorts.
Yeah. Just be two old, out of shape
You got all the
dudes
cameras here? Let's do it
Just
after.
do it now.
We'll do it right after.
and then off and then it would like fade out with sad music and two tired guys.
Okay, I'll do it right now, but don't
Lock
snap
him
my
up.
arm. I'll be so pissed.
I can't.
I'll just intro
can't
over the
promise
top
that.
with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
I feel like at this
Oh, I
point,
got to totally put my hat on forward first.
I feel like at this point in our lives, there's no way either of us would come out of this uninjured. It'd be like instant tennis elbow and carpal tunnel syndrome.
Especially because your pride would both be injured.
Oh yeah, not to mention the
Nope,
pride.
I think only one guy's going to have a sore pride. This is how sport works. One will love it.
Hi, bro, says that guy. Okay, so the topic we were going to go down the path of today, before we get to it, I'm just going to intro it. So this is why your deck costs what it costs.
Ooh.
Why I did this is because, like, even when I was building, I was never the best at explaining to the customer why my quote might have been higher than the next guy's. And I don't think we've really touched on this in the podcast.
We
in
have.
87. Okay.
But just in like different ways. We've done it. We've done it a
In the
little bit at a
garbage.
time.
Never mind.
Right?
Today we're talking about how refreshing Slurpees are on the job site.
We've talked about it.
We
like,
picked away at it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we never put it in a list.
In a list. We never had it in the
that's
Now
what it
nobody will
is.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so how are they supposed to remember it if you didn't put numbers beside them?
You didn't even really give them a chance.
So because every contractor is familiar with the situation
Lists.
of like giving a quote, and it's like, here you go, here's your quote, it's 20 grand. They're like, oh, I have another guy, so you do it for 12. It's absolutely not the same things being quoted here, if that's the discrepancy. So what's in the 8 grand? That's what we're going to get after today. And I have a list.
Pianos.
Wade loves lists.
I love lists.
Of 20.
Are they most important to least important?
No.
20 is
Are they
really
just
long.
numbered?
Can you just like
And I'm not
pair
even
some of those out of
No,
there?
I can't. Because I got to 17 and then I was like, now it's got to be
Yeah, but what
20.
if you would have taken 2 out at that point? It would have been a 15. That would have been a way better list.
No, 17. We should have just left it at 17.
Oh man, the
And just
OCD,
really screw people.
OCD people would be like just losing it.
and then be like, okay, and that was number 17. Next up is see you next week. So yeah, before we get to that, we've got what do we got?
We have the worldly news, I think.
Oh,
we're going to do the worldly news?
I think we are.
Okay. Well, just so you know, Mom, I'm working on something very, very big, very important. You're going to be very proud. It's the worldly news. Okay.
They didn't hear you.
Yeah, that's too bad.
They didn't hear it, but that's why they have to tune in later and subscribe to the podcast, right? You can't give it all away.
You can't give it all away.
You get the behind the scenes stuff, but you don't get the polish.
The polish. That's what this is called.
You want the polish job? You gotta tune in later.
Yeah, I like the polish job. It's one of my favorites.
Tune in on RedTube. YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
What do we got for worldly news?
Okay, so last week we talked about cocaine in bananas.
Did you see this? You did. That's why you're talking about this.
No, go ahead.
Nope, you go.
Mine's different, probably.
Cocaine and coffee beans.
Yeah!
Oh my goodness.
Italian police find cocaine stuffed individually into hundreds of coffee beans.
I at first thought you had a cocaine problem because if it's second week in a row you're
yeah.
chasing, it's like that's what you look for on your phone.
It just shows up on his phone.
Yeah.
Now he's talked about it.
Always got questions after this.
It's recreational.
It's not hollow. Like they
cut them open and then they taped them back up.
come on.
No, for real.
Those little snack-sized Cocoa Bombs?
Yeah.
Like,
Could you imagine if we could get cocaine coffee in here? Imagine how much stuff we could get done.
We got to get that like super high test coffee.
Yes. Let's start with that.
I don't know if it's the bean that's going to give you the boost. Right? Like,
It's the Coke.
I don't know if it matters what grade the bean
Does it
is.
matter? This is like, I don't actually care
So
how
they
I got
cut
to.
the beans in half,
Yeah.
cored them out,
Yeah.
put a Costco-sized sample of cocaine inside,
Push the sample. 2 kilograms worth in total.
glued it
500
back
beans.
together.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't glue it, taped it like electrical tape.
Remember that story?
Oh, dead giveaway. They
Remember
should
that
have.
story
Pretty
about?
hard to see.
They should have used a 2P10 glue to close those beans up.
Do you remember a story about the people who got the dope in the mail? Like went to the wrong address?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you
You told
imagine
us
if
that last
somebody
Got the wrong
got
coffee.
the wrong coffee,
Brewed
The
it.
beans just
Brewed it.
zip
brews
it up. Oh, feeling good today.
gives it.
I got all of the things done. I had a list of 20 to do this week. Did them this morning.
Right now.
Harold, get off the roof. You just shingled it 3 hours ago. It doesn't need shingling again. Wild. Okay, so
All right.
well, that's good. That
was good.
That's far more creative than just shoving it in a box of bananas.
Be creative, people.
Right, be creative.
But they're still using, like, it's still coming from the same countries again. They're not being very creative. It's still like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like just
Coming from
anything that
Colombia.
comes out of Colombia
Yeah,
now. It's like
stay away.
coffee beans. Yeah, probably Coke in them. Bananas, probably Coke in that too.
Probably Coke and the
Dude,
cocaine.
every plane that leaves Colombia,
The only place there's not
like-
cocaine is in the boxes that say cocaine on them. That's full of mangoes.
they should do that.
Right?
Hide in plain sight.
Hide in plain sight. Yep.
Okay, number 2. A man was fined 450 euros for provocatively farting in front of a police officer.
What the hell does that mean?
Could you demonstrate the provocative
I don't know if I can. I'm not sure how you do that.
It's part of the polish. You got to tune in later. What is that? What does provocatively farting mean?
So, massive intestinal wind, apparently, with full intent. That's what that means. So they intentionally.
So not
Oh, he
necessarily,
farted on the cop.
not
Yeah.
necessarily erotically.
No, not erotically.
so he was provoking. Okay, I took that at first to be like he was like flirting with a fart, like did it in some sort of like.
No, he tried
Down
to.
chicka wow wow
it was
way.
offending public decency.
Oh, yeah. You offend public decency often.
I offend
With
public
your-
decency like numerous times today.
Yep.
Are you provocatively farting
That's it.
right now?
I'm charging you.
I don't know that it was provocative in a sense,
We're going to press charges, Bryce.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're going to get
but it was
sued.
for sure relieving. Like I felt good. I don't know about you guys, but it was
Yeah. When I woke up, I was all fine.
okay. Well,
And then the last story is the house used for the Golden Girls exterior shots was listed for $3 million.
Yep. And somebody bought it probably.
And somebody bought it right away.
Unbelievable. I'd
don't
only buy it
remember
if
what
Blanche
that
was
house-
still in it.
I don't think I ever watched the show.
Yeah, you did.
You thought Blanche was hot? Is that what it was?
Sure. Of all of them, she was the hottest.
Was she the young one? The least old one?
The least old one.
Mm-hmm. The least golden.
Yeah.
Like, are they? No,
She had the most
They're
energy.
gone.
No,
Are they? Are they all?
Some are still alive.
Isn't Betty? Is Betty still alive?
Yeah.
Betty White? She was a golden girl.
Has she not died yet?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe not.
Wade's looking out.
So that's a
I gotta
long
look it
time
up.
ago that show was on, and they were old then.
Yeah.
At least
They were golden.
relatively. I thought they were old at that point. They were golden. Yeah, golden girls. Apparently, I don't remember what the outside of the house looked like. But was the house worth $3 million?
Yeah,
or do
it's
you
a big
think
house. It's like 3,500 square feet.
it was
or something
worth
like that.
$4 million? It was
Yeah.
like, but there's old
2.9.
lady smell in
They all
here.
died.
And so now you get it for a discount.
But it was just the exterior shot too. It wasn't
Right, so
actually.
I can't imagine that
inside
like
the
had
house.
added any sort of like clout to the purchase price. Would it?
Yeah.
Would anybody care about
Be like,
the-
I lived in the Golden Girls house.
Okay, well, I guess depends on who you're friends with, I suppose.
Wade would buy it.
Nope. No chance.
No chance. Have you seen that thing on TikTok
Depends how close
about
you go.
What thing
the
on TikTok?
kids? You're supposed to ask your kids. It's a generational thing. How they would sign to you using the phone.
My Slurpee's really good.
Oh,
Like how,
How
would
they
you
would sign?
You'd be like, hey, give me a call. Yeah, right.
Oh,
So
and
you go like this. So I asked my daughter, and it's
this?
she's like boop 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 boop, full face.
really?
Yep.
That's funny.
Oh, you got to get some corded phones in your house.
And so I had seen a thing too that like kids nowadays have no clue why the telephone button on a phone, like even on your cell
Looks
phone,
like a
the
telephone.
the little receiver part, they don't know what that's supposed to be. It's like, well, that's how you phone. But what is that symbol? I don't know. It's just like that's the button you use to phone. But what is that symbol of? I don't know. Like it's like an N. they have no idea.
Sideways N.
No idea.
Guys, take your kids to a museum for.
Well, no. So even I had one of those little Fisher Price
Yeah.
phones for Ray, and she still has no freaking clue.
That's a good point. My kids have one of those things.
Yeah, test it out.
Yeah. Strange. Okay.
Anyways.
I got 20 items.
Let's go.
Yeah, I should have been 17.
17 plus 3. This is why your deck costs what it costs. I don't know if that's what I'm going to call this thing at the end. I might put some more thought into that. But these are the reasons why generally some quotes are higher than other quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And so guys can listen to this and maybe
Justify themselves.
use these things, or, you know, they already know these things probably, but just a reminder, be like, let people know that this is why yours might be higher. Don't just get frustrated that somebody's like, well, somebody else is 12 grand cheaper. Because I don't know, maybe sometimes people aren't necessarily just trying to be the cheapo, but they're just like, they don't understand why. It's like, unless you tell them, because you
Some
live it,
people
you're
are
like,
trying to be cheapo, though.
I'm better. My deck is going to be better. And it's like, 8 grand better? Like what is in that 8 grand? So anyways, here we go.
Won't be that much better.
The first one's really not that fun. The first one is the insurance and WCB aspect.
Fun.
Or workers' comp,
Super
whatever you
fun.
call it, right? And so that's a cost that like an actual legitimate professional business is going to incur, that the chuck in a truck, fly by night, dude and a half ton slash school teacher slash firefighter does on the weekends doesn't have to incur those costs. And some people might not care, but here's what you need to know. If somebody gets hurt in your backyard building your deck, your fault.
Yes, you are responsible for that.
He cuts off his finger, he technically, I think, can go after the homeowner and be like, this accident happened here. He doesn't have WCB coverage on himself. It's the homeowner's fault. It happened on their property doing their work with their materials.
Yep.
So maybe you don't care that he doesn't have insurance and WCB, but you would if something happened and he turned out to be not the most like nicest dude. He could pin it down on you.
So whose responsibility is it to ask for that? Is it
Homeowners.
the homeowner's responsibility?
Always the homeowners. Everything falls back on the homeowner.
They should make sure that they've got insurance and WCB, because so something happens to the deck falls off the house. Like, I don't know whether there's obviously a variety of instances where the insurance can come into play, but if you don't have any, then it doesn't come into play.
Well,
That's
no,
the scary
because
part.
so your house, so the deck falls off your house, and then your insurance company is going to find out who built it, and they're going to sue them.
Right.
And so if you are an insured builder, then the homeowner's insurance company is going to sue your insurance company, and your insurance company is going to cover it, and your premiums will go up.
But you will get paid. Guy doesn't have insurance. They sue him. He goes personally bankrupt, and you get nothing.
Deck is off the house. You have no money, and that guy's living in his car. in a van down by the river.
So legitimate
Building decks
honest
next year.
businesses are going to have these things in place, not only for their own protection, but for your protection as well. So
Yep.
hire somebody that has those things. The second part of it kind of plays into that as well. The number 2 answer here is just the fact that there are some additional costs to be an incorporated registered business. Once they may have had to have lawyers involved at some point. You have expenses to keep yourself incorporated, et cetera. So there's a few minor costs that are associated with that kind of thing.
Yes.
Your taxes, to do your taxes is more when you're a corporation than it is
Yes.
for personal. So there's just a little bit of extra overhead on the paperwork side of things that, again, Chuck in a truck's not going to experience, so he maybe doesn't have to cover that. But you probably want somebody who's going to be not fly by night, a legitimate business who's been around and is going to be around and
Yeah.
takes themselves seriously.
Yep.
That's who you want building your deck.
Correct.
If it's a stair landing out the back of this house and it's 4x4 and whatever. But if this is a deck that's going to be in your home that your family's going to enjoy for years and years and years, you should want somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you probably picked a product that had a 25-year warranty, so why is your labor not warranted at all, right?
Yeah. You don't want to use Terry, who here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow, Terry.
Number 3, quality employees with extra training. So this is probably one of the biggest ones, because guys who don't do this full time and don't have a bunch of experience also don't hire people who have a bunch of experience and time and training. So they get buddies with a free set of hands. They're laborers, right?
Yeah.
When you're hiring an actual professional deck building company, they're paying carpenters whatever they're paying them.
Big
$30 an hour.
money. Carpenters make big money.
Right? They're paying them,
Rich.
who knows? Like, everybody's different, the rates, but 25, 30, 35, $40 an hour versus...
Sounds like you're auctioning off hourly rates there.
Yeah, I'll take whatever I can get.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
It's your dream.
But if it's just a guy who just rolls around and does odd jobs on the side and he's got a buddy helping him, he's paying him $12 an hour cash and whatever, like, fine, you're going to save money that way, but you're also working with guys who don't do this for a living. Mm-hmm. So if you want quality work from quality trained carpenters, you're going to have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
They get paid more. They've invested in their time, themselves, and their training and their education and everything else.
You know where you can hire really inexpensive bad laborers? To tear the deck off.
Sure.
We had a customer in yesterday that was asking me about like getting our guys to tear the deck off his house. And I was like, I don't want this to sound terrible or mean or anything, but like, you don't want to pay our guys to tear the deck off your house. Our guys get paid well and they have a high hourly rate, and you should use them to build the deck, not tear it down.
But aren't you going to run into the same issue then? If you like, the guys that are inexperienced probably aren't going to have WCB or any of that stuff, and I feel like you're going to get hurt really easily.
That's maybe
potentially.
It's probably easier to get hurt there, right? But
yeah,
homeowner's fault. Problem.
Wipe my hands of this. You never heard that from me.
Yep.
Number 4 is operational overhead. So real businesses who take themselves seriously have trailers and trucks,
branded coffee cups,
possibly showrooms. Like, they just maintain equipment to move their people and move their tools and whatever else. It's not just throwing it in their family vehicle and coming and going. So there's like, that stuff needs to be paid for. You might be thinking like, well, I don't want to pay for that. And it's like, well, if you want to hire a professional business that actually shows up in time, does the work properly, they need to have those things to run their business. That's how it works. And so it's going to cost a little bit more. That's just like saying, oh no, I'm just going to have my buddy come wire my house. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to take training to be an electrician or have a van or have inventory in his van or like tools and all that stuff. He just like wings it on the side. Which leads me into number 5. I wasn't going to number these, but I did. Specialty tools. So what I can for sure tell you is that no Chuck in a truck's got a track saw. Track saws. Track saws. Track saws.
That's basically the end of it right there. If you don't have a track saw, maybe that could be the interview.
Move on to the next quote.
Who needs WCB? I got a track saw.
No chance I'm cutting my fingers off. I got a saw that's built to not cut fingers off.
Pretty tough to cut anything with this other than deck boards perfectly. But nobody who's doing this as a hobby is going to invest in the tools that a professional deck builder might have. And legitimately, that might be a track saw or a camo drive tool. Things that make the job more efficient or more of a cleaner finish. They're not going to invest in those things. They're going to drive around with a they're doing general stuff. They can have general tools, a skill saw and whatever, right? So
Yeah, no
many times-
stiletto hammers.
Yeah, they're just using the little
I had one.
Rono ones.
Guess
they don't
what?
hit nails.
Now
really.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. It's
Where?
at my house.
Good. At least I know where it
You
is.
did have one. You did.
I'm willing to trade back your Alpha knife from 2 years ago for my hammer.
No deal.
No deal.
Ryan from Vinyl Guys is on here. Are we still debating this? Tracks.
I can cut a straight line.
I can get it straight. No, we're not.
Every
We're done.
day.
That was number 5. Specialty tools. Not just that, but all the tools. Install guns, all that kind of stuff. Number 6, the craftsman's touch. So generally guys that are doing this for a living are proud of their work at the end. They take the pictures, they want to show it to the next person. It helps. It's part of their business to do a good job.
Yeah.
Guy who's going to build a deck for a case of beer and $300
beer, though?
$300 and then
It's a
be
pile
gone.
of bones
He doesn't
beer?
care if the miter's good or not.
Nope.
And he doesn't care if the line was cut perfectly straight or not. He's there to do a decent job. He's there to do the bare minimum to make you happy and be gone. He's not using that in a portfolio. He's not doing anything extra. He's laying that thing and he's getting out with his $300 and his beer.
Yeah.
So the craftsman's touch, you're going to get people that are a little bit more picky. They're going to make that extra trip to the saw to make sure that miter's cut really perfect and not just be okay with a bunch of substandard
Did it work?
finishes.
Are you yawning?
No.
Oh.
Are you trying?
No, I just believe that happens every time you yawn, somebody else does.
It is supposed to be contagious, but yours is not.
Phew. Just like my COVID.
Yeah.
It's not contagious.
Higher. This kind of plays into the same thing. Higher quality, number 7, higher quality finish / more complete finish. So this is always a big one too, because you never know what the guy who's way cheaper left out. Because often, especially with those guys that don't do a proper takeoff and like, I don't know how much of that you want to share with the customer on your quote, but they haven't necessarily considered and included all the things that you would. My standard finish on a deck might be a lot different than Wade's or the guy who doesn't do them all the time. He may
Right.
not have even included fascia because he doesn't even know that fascia is a thing. Like it might be that. Mine might have had post skirts and post straps and fascia and skirting and whatever else. And his was framing and deck boards. But if nobody puts that on their quote that they've included their scope of work, then how is the homeowner supposed to know what's included and what's not? It's just this one's a lot smaller. It's like, but what aren't you getting in that?
Fasteners. Brad nailed the decking down.
For real life. Like I did a quote years ago on a job and it was the same scenario. I can't remember what the numbers were. I was 18 and he had a quote for 11. I think it was roughly like that. Like I was close to 20 and they were close to 10. And I was like, well, it's just not possible that we're quoting the same thing. It's absolutely not possible. You're going to have to share that other quote so I can see what wasn't and wasn't included if you want me to tell you what the difference
It always bugs me that they go to the high guy and ask you to come down. I was like,
Right?
go to the low guy and be like, how are you only building me half a deck?
Yeah. So in this case, there was 3 major things that contributed to the $8,000 or $9,000 difference in price, whatever it was. 1, no lights in the other guy's quote. He had asked me to quote lights. So there was a lighting package in there. Number 2, I was building a curved deck. Other guy was not building a curved deck. That's a whole lot more money to curve the deck versus somebody who's just going to do it square. Number 3, I was putting the house at an existing row of piles that were poured with the home builder, and the way they wanted it built was going to require 2 more piles. I was putting in 2 more piles. Other guy was just using like adjustable feet, but the rest of the deck was going to be on piles. I guess 4 things. And the 4th thing was the other guy didn't include any stairs.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And the deck was 6 feet in the air.
Did it have a pole or a slide?
There was nothing.
Fireman's pole.
It was a we'll figure it out later kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So
Once
this
I
was
get
like
you in here.
This is like 9 steps down. Like that's a big staircase that I had completely trimmed out with a landing at the bottom of it. And so like, yeah, that's pretty easy to see how he was $8,000 shy of what I was doing because I've got $6,000 worth of materials.
Did you
in
get the
there.
job?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Because they were like, oh, that guy's he's trying to F me.
Yeah. But it's just like right
Now
away they
you're
came
open
and
and
it's like, it's hard when you're on that side of it to not like get frustrated right away when they're like, well, I've got other quotes because you think they're just trying to grind you is what you initially think. But the whole reason for today's podcast is because they just don't know these things sometimes.
Yeah.
And they just need it explained. And then if you do, then a lot of people are like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Now that I know what's not in the other one, I don't want that.
Right.
Right. So number 6, 7, 8.
Detailed quotes, right? That's
Detailed quotes.
really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Warranty. You're not getting warranty from the guy who rips up in his truck and Wade's not giving it
Wade's
either.
like, what?
Who gives warranty?
So good operations are going to give you some sort of warranty. Like pretty much on the low end is 2-year labor warranty or 2-year workmanship warranty. Some guys do 3, some guys do 5. Some guys out there don't put a number on it. They just say, if there's anything that ever fails as a result of workmanship, we'll be back. Like we're here for the long haul. You know, we have a profitable company. We're not going anywhere. We'll come back and deal with any issues that come up if it's workmanship related. So you're not getting that from any.
Also, fly-by-nighters say that because then they're gone. It's like, call me anytime.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't matter.
Lifetime warranty, actually.
Yeah.
As long as I'm alive and you can find me, I will fix your deck.
Yeah. But I'm on my way to Penticton after this. Peace.
Yep. And so there's a cost associated with that. If you do have to go back and make callbacks for replacing a defective product or a burnt out light or maybe a screw popped or something and you got to go back and fix it, there's a cost associated with do that. You can't be doing repairs all the time and not have that built in somewhere. So, I need to remember these as I go. Number 9, experience. So this kind of go back to the other one too, but I love there's
every time I hear that word, what happens in my head?
Experience, Regina.
Every time. There's like not a single time that somebody has said the word experience that doesn't happen in my head.
Good. We need to put that on the buttons at some point too.
You should get the actual one.
Yes.
Sponsored.
There's a saying that I really like, and because this happens out there where customers are like, what do you mean? And this could go for any trade. What do you mean you're charging $400? That's probably only going to take you 2 hours to do.
Yeah.
You're not paying me for the 2 hours. You're paying me for the 20 years of experience. That allows me to do that in 2 hours and not 8.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to pay this guy half that and let him gain some of those years.
Yeah. And you'll take 8 hours. You're going to pay half the hourly rate, but 4 times the amount of time. Yeah. Anyways, I like that.
Me too.
That line. Cause it's like, listen, I have put in a lot of time and if you've been at it for a long time, your life has been spent crafting and becoming more and more efficient so that you can do things quicker. And that's your benefit. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you get to discount everybody's jobs now because you can do it faster. No, you got yourself there. And so you're not paying me by the hour.
Yep.
You're paying me for my experience. Number 10, higher quality products. So obviously with every piece of, and maybe lumber aside, because lumber is fairly consistent. If you're using pressure treated lumber, it's largely all the same. But when it comes to the decking, the railing, the lighting, everything else, there's a wide variety of qualities. And often with decking, you would hope that people are quoting the same thing. You'd hope that the customer knows what they want because they've been through it and they've kind of said, okay, we want to quote on Trex saddle or whatever.
Yes.
And so you'd hope that both guys are quoting Trex saddle. I'm sure it happens where I'm quoting composite and this guy's quoting Trex saddle, and it turns out the composite the guy was quoting was Chinese crap from a box store. They weren't quoting what you wanted to be quoting. But where this comes in even more is like guy number 1 with a higher quote might be quoting InLight quality lights.
Yes.
And guy B picked his up on eBay, 20 pack for $200. Smoking deal. But the failure rate in the lights is 15% in the first year. Mm-hmm. So now you deal with constant callbacks on a guy who's not coming back or finding where you got the lights or whatever. It's just a headache. The other guy might be using a better quality product to begin with because he knows. He's experimented with the lower quality lights. He knows they're junk. He uses a product now that comes with a 5-year warranty and lasts longer, much longer in most cases. And if it does need change, it's a simple swap. Like he knows the products are better. So he quotes with better products, knowing that in the homeowner's best interest, it's worth spending a little bit more money.
Yes.
So check the quality of products. Aluminum rails too. One guy quotes aluminum rail, it's $20 a foot aluminum rail. The other guy quotes something that's $50. And it's like, okay, yes, you're getting aluminum rail in both cases, but this stuff is super thin, no warranty. The paint finish is crap. And the other stuff is whatever. It's Trex signature rail or something, right? Like it's
So as a homeowner, how do you...
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
I don't know how you
I don't struggle.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Exactly. Which is what, so you should come down to a store like ours or a store and go check out the options yourself. Like know what you want before you get somebody to quote it for you, because then you don't know what you're getting. Mm-hmm. You get what the builder decided to choose for you. And if you don't care what railing goes in your house, if you're just like black aluminum, doesn't matter, then fine. But if you want to know you're getting good quality stuff, then you better ask some questions. Mm-hmm. What are you quoting me here? What brand is this? What's the warranty on the railing? Because we get asked that semi-frequently. People are like, what's the warranty on the railing? And it's like, it always catches you because people ask the warranty question on the decking a lot, but not as much on the railing. It's always like, oh, that's actually a good question. You know, it's 20 years structural on the thing and 5 years on the finish. It's like, you're not getting that from the cheap stuff. So if it ends up looking like
which
garbage,
company has a 20-year structural
Regal,
and finish?
5 years.
Regal. What about Fortress?
And Century.
And Century.
And I believe Fortress is the same as that too.
Okay.
It's like it's pretty standardized warranty, I guess, with the good brands of aluminum rail.
This is a very teaching moment right now.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Me neither.
I just told people it's a 5-year paint warranty.
Eric Teru on the chat
Seemed
says
to work.
that often the cheaper guy will say, you don't need hangers, all the railing is the same. Yeah, guys who don't know will cut corners where they can. You don't need hangers.
Corner cutters.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
guess
a
you
bunch
don't need tires for your car either. Really.
Sounds like a
You
bunch
don't
of
have
socialists.
to have them on there. So
That's it.
cutting
I'm taking shots.
corners. Number 11 is special touches.
He'll know I'm joking because
So-
I defended him before.
If you, he says he gets razzed by that a lot. Does
he?
But
The
like,
socialist comment?
yeah, he gets the guys who, I don't know if it's who he works with or who it is, but like he's like they laugh at me now because you called me a socialist on the podcast, and I laughed. I was like, what episode was that again? I had to go back and listen to it again because I couldn't remember the context of why I called him a socialist.
Poor guy.
But anyway,
It was because of Wade.
and I believe he texted me and said, "Hey, you dirty capitalist." That was how the conversation started. Number 11, special touches. So there's these trends that go around. Like there's guys out there that are constantly trying to do things a little bit better, trying to like help a product overcome a deficiency or something. And they'll invest the time into doing these things, and other guys that aren't serious about it won't. An example of this might be your folded corners that a lot of guys are doing on decks now on the fascia. We've talked about this recently. They're, cutting a V-groove into the fascia board and heating it up and folding the corner. It gives a super clean, nice finish on the corner. I can guarantee you're not getting that from even most deck builders that are full-time guys. But some of the guys who are really leading the charge with this thing will put those extra touches in there. And so, unfortunately, at the end of the day, those kind of touches take a little bit longer. They need to charge to do that, but you're getting a better finish that's going to hold up longer over time. But if you're not told that, how are you to know?
Yeah.
Number 12, better fasteners. So we talked about this recently too. Some guys brad nail and glue their decking down.
Gorilla tape.
That's pretty cheap. Oh, $7.
Double-sided.
Magnets.
Magnets.
$7 bottle of glue, PL Premium, and a pack of interior grade finish nails. Your fasteners for your 300 square foot deck, $12.
I really thought that's how they used to do it.
And
that was
no, they still do. There's still people in Regina that are doing it, and they
That's
build for home
crazy.
builders, and they actually call themselves
that's happening
renovation companies
today somewhere.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is it faster? This is just a pain in the
It's a little bit faster.
It's a little bit faster.
Nope, it's way faster.
A lot of the fasteners that are out there now are getting pretty fast, but yeah, I mean, like run a bead of caulk or of construction adhesive down,
You could bang it on top of the joist and then put your decks on.
and then put a bead down, put your boards on, and pop them with nails. Like, it's pretty quick, but it's also terrible.
I've changed how I actually say that word. Caulking.
Which one? Caulking.
Caulking. I make
Like
sure
Macaulay caulking.
Yep.
Vinyl Guy says he's looking for a sponsor from PL, sponsorship from PL, because that's the only way he installs. This is a good comment. Eric Teru says, I saw a deck, Trex, that was stapled down. We also had a
crown
deck that was
nail.
stapled down.
Yeah.
We had a Wolf deck a couple of years ago. And that's not a cheap product. That's a
Rosewood.
premium product.
Yeah.
You pay a lot of money for Wolf Serenity decking. And this guy had shot it all down with a crown stapler.
Good
So
enough.
not only was it like
Shitty looking.
like at least with the
Would
brad
you like
nail,
to describe that a different way?
no, what I'm trying to say is, like, at least with the brad nail, the head is small. The staple just like blew the cap up as it went
was awful.
through, and you saw a staple holding on the deck. And then this poor homeowner, I don't know, like, you hired the
Nope.
guy.
I don't feel
You
bad
went
for
for the
homeowners.
cheap price, you bought the good decking, but you tried to get it installed for as cheap as possible, and this guy shot it down with a bloody crown stake.
And then when they came in and they asked, so I remember this customer, they came in and they said to me, can you please sell me the decking for cheaper the second time because we have to tear all this
They
decking
bought
up?
it again.
Yes, they had to tear it all up. So this,
Well,
much like
because not only did it come off,
slab.
but shot full of staple hole, like it was
can't
no
use it.
good.
can't do anything with it, right? So like Shane's favorite line of, you're not paying me for my 2 hours, you're paying me for my 10 years. I have that same sort of like line with, if you think it's expensive to do it like once, do it twice, right? Like, so that homeowner, it was a she actually, she was really, 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 really stuck on that board. And I told her, I was like, don't just get anybody to put this board down. It is a lot of money that you're spending on decking. Make sure you get a good contractor to put it down. And I recommended some for her. And she didn't use them because none of our guys use crown staplers. They all use brad nailers and glue. So it's much smaller holes. Anyway, so she walked in with that board and was like, she held it up and showed me, and it had staples in it. And
Nobody believed it.
I was like, no. Did he do that for the fascia?
No, he didn't.
Yeah. And I was like, that must have been a facial board. She's like, no, he put my whole deck down like this. And I was like, nope. Then she showed me a picture of the landing he had. I was like, holy smokes. Did you use any of the guys I recommended? No. Do you think you could sell me the boards cheaper now? Nope. No, I don't think this should be my fault. I sold you the right product and I told you who to call.
Yeah.
And you chose to not. So now I want to charge you actually double because you're so dumb the first time. It made me like...
Yeah, because I feel like you'll bugger this up again. So I'm going to sell you twice the number of boards you need. So you got a third crack at it.
Are you going to use the contractor I suggest this time? Oh yeah, I'll use your contractor.
Nothing's more expensive than cheaping out.
That's right. See?
That's a good one. You should use that one.
Yeah, it's
It's way quicker.
Yeah. And
I'm good at paraphrasing, right? I keep things short and succinct.
17
You almost made me yawn. there.
rolls into 20.
Ooh. Okay.
Sorry, White.
What else? Are we done?
I
We're
was
talking about
yawning.
Is that it?
I was yawning.
There's a comment in here that from New England Deck Pros that says, I hate when I get glue all over my shoes and then walk on the deck. Just the worst. I hate it when I do that. I hate it when I'm trying to glue down the deck all responsibly and then I get irresponsible with the glue.
The hose drags in the glue and you drag the hose all over the deck.
This is like merchandising. I feel like these are good t-shirts.
Right? We're going to make some.
Yeah.
T-shirts will be available.
Yeah.
Better.
We should just sell deck boards. We make more money selling deck boards. Sell the deck boards.
Just glue shirts together.
No, because they want discounts because they staple it down. You can't make money at that.
Here's your t-shirt.
Nobody's gonna ask.
Here's
for a
your
discount
sign.
on a T-shirt with a witty saying on it. Nobody will ask for a discount on that. So also better fasteners to not go away from that. Even not necessarily just like wrong fasteners, but like there's the guy A with a big quote might be using Cortex plugs, better finish, better fastener. The other
Fit
guy
and
might be
finish.
using a deck screw, which is not necessarily wrong in a PVC or composite deck, but it sure ain't right. And so put that one on a shirt.
Sure.
May not be wrong, but it sure ain't right. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. The other guy might be just using colored screws, right? But there's a cost difference there, and there's a fit and finish difference there.
Yep.
So know that as well. Because like for me, when I was building, it was like if Cortex was available, it was Cortex. There was no option for the customer. Even it's like, no, you're gonna these are hella worth it. You're gonna use
$50.
right? So there's that. Number 13 is I just called it Beyond Code. So this one is
Oh yeah.
there'll be some guys that don't know the code. Period. They'll build. I don't know where they get like the backing for how they decide it should be built if they hadn't
Because they built it like that for years.
learned it from someone. Like
It looks good.
if
The
you know
guy used to-
if you know nothing about it, like if you told me to build the wing of an airplane, what knowledge am I working on to know how that should be
YouTube.
framed out?
YouTube.
Right? Like,
The YouTube code.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's pretty good actually. YouTube code's come a long ways in the last few years.
I watched Shane do it.
Certainly.
Duck Shop Shorts.
See?
Oh yeah, chop shorts. But other guys will base like they're fully aware of the building codes, the rules, the minimums, and they'll build beyond that because they believe that even the building codes aren't super reliable, or that they just don't like, yes, a 2x8 can span 12 feet.
Pretty bouncy.
I've walked on them. They're bouncy. You should use nothing less than a 2x10. Some guys will do that and they'll be like, you're getting 2x10 because I know that you will not like how that feels. Some guys are saying, we'll do 12 inches on center versus other guys doing 16. It's like, no, you're doing a PVC or composite. It's going to be a bit spongy but if you don't explain that to the customer, they have no idea.
And they
all
don't
of a sudden,
care.
You're using more lumber, more fasteners, more time, charge appropriately. Why are you more? Because I'm building it so that you're happy with it.
So
not just to
so
the
I don't
minimum,
have to come back.
Right.
Because my deck's
Not
better.
for the minimum spec.
It's because
Do
mine's
you-
going to be better.
Right. Do you want to spend 10 grand and be like, it really bothers me that it's like so spongy and like I keep tripping on these staples and
And I can't
Glue
get this
stuck to
glue
my
off.
or do you want to spend 12 grand and be happy, like no regrets?
Well, I don't
What's
know.
the difference?
It's probably a difference of 4 or 5 grand, but whatever.
No, but I mean just like not from Staples, but for a couple extra joists or something, right?
Yes.
Put in a couple, you do 12 inches on center versus 16. Not a huge upgrade in price. Like it's not gonna change
Burns
the
up.
affordability of the deck,
Correct.
per se.
Yeah.
But you'll be happier with it.
Yep.
So you gotta know what you're getting. Comment here says the bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of a low price. Benjamin Franklin. That's another good quote. That one's good too.
He's famous, that guy, hey?
Yeah, he's done a thing or
Benjamin
two.
Franklin guy.
Yeah.
What did he do?
I don't know.
Quigley
I just know
Deck.
the name.
Call me.
Quigley Deck says in Wisconsin,
He
a
was a kite
contractor
guy,
must be
wasn't he?
licensed to get the permit. If the homeowner gets the permit and Chuck in a truck screws it up, then the deck falls on the homeowner to fix it.
Yeah.
So so license, we're going to come up on that one, but our market is not like that. You don't have to be anything to build a deck. You don't have to be anything
I
to
could
frame a
build a
house.
deck.
We talked about this. You can't. But
I use cameras all day.
yeah, he's probably the third most educated deck guy in the province now because he listens to us ramble on about everything mundane about decks all day long, every day.
I have seen him nod off a couple of times, so he's missed some important stuff. But
So that's
maybe
another
it's
big one.
osmosis. He's
Really
picking
good
up.
builders are probably going to build things a little bit better than they are required to, and other Chucks and trucks are probably going to build it a little bit less than they're required to quite often. So there's a gap there. Because they're not intimately familiar with the code.
Oh, I thought we were moving on to the
No,
next one.
I was.
Jeez, it was so close.
I was, but if you're not reading the code book, you have no idea. Like the rules between Regina and Saskatoon, they both use the National Building Code as a basis for but the rules are different.
Yes.
And so unless you spend time studying it, you don't know the difference. All of a sudden,
it's
a
like
4-foot cantilever
Every municipality, right?
will have, they have their own tweaks, their own things, right?
Yeah.
So like I went camping a couple weekends ago and there's a deck out there framed as 2x8 and a big 4-foot cantilever with a sunroom on top of it. And it's like,
Nope.
that is not how you do that. But if somebody that's doing it doesn't do it for a living, they don't
Local
know that.
building code says.
Yeah. Extra,
No, it didn't.
Number 14 is extra longevity. So a lot of builders are going to put a little bit more into your deck to make sure that it lasts longer because they're aware of the industry trends of like framing lumber not lasting as long. They know the products that are out there that are meant to make the deck last longer. I'm clearly referring to things like joist tape or using standoffs on wood to concrete connections.
Yeah.
Or shimming up your stairs with PVC on the bottom or something. Put a cleat underneath there that's impervious to water and get, they do the extra details to make sure things aren't going to rot away. It's going to last a lot longer. So sure, costs a little bit more today. You're going to get many more years out of it than the guy who slapped it together and pays no attention to any of that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You're done.
We should have.
I already agreed with you.
Can we start referring, Vinyl Guys says, can we start referring
little
to the
handkerchief.
as a stand in a van? Oh yeah. Chuck in a truck, stand in a van? Sure. Now my head's like, now I'm going through like, what other
got-
names can we rhyme with other vehicles?
Yeah.
Mike on a bike?
Mike on a bike.
He's the worst. All he can carry is his hammer.
And a skill saw.
Maybe a skill saw.
You got lit up the other day about not knowing about treated lumber. Hey, on the old Instagram, some guy was picking fights with you. Cabinet builder was telling
Oh,
me
yeah.
you didn't really know what you were talking about.
Cabinet builders like telling us a complete waste of time to be taping anything. Pressure treated's
yeah.
guaranteed to last for 40 years.
40
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm not going to tell you how to build cabinets.
See you out there.
More complete and accurate takeoffs. We talked about this before. You're going to get somebody who's actually sat down and done the takeoff and the plan for your deck from start to finish, they've built this thing in their head and documented it, essentially. Other guys?
Or they had a really good spreadsheet.
Maybe. They've got a tool maybe that you use for it. But other guys asking somebody on Facebook what they charge for decks per square foot, and then they're like, yeah, I guess it's $4 a square foot. That's what I charge. And it's just like a random thrown out number. And it's like, well, how much is the materials? $15 a square foot. But then you go price it out and it's actually $18 a square foot if you build it basically, and then it's $25 because you're going to add some picture frames and some skirting and whatever else. And it's like he just threw generic random numbers at it. He thinks 11,000 is the number. He's going to find out mid-build that he has no more materials and he's got to go get $5,000 more worth of materials. He doesn't know. The other guys that are putting in good bids are going to give you a more complete and accurate picture of what you're actually needing to do the job. Which leads into number 16, which is a wider scope of work and communication. So the guy who has...
Oh, yeah. Good communication goes a long ways.
Yeah. The guy who has
so says JJ.
More expensive deck probably is likely including more things in the deck.
She used to listen to these. She doesn't anymore.
She never listened.
Yes, she did.
Come on.
Yep. Come on, buddy.
But yeah, just a more complete scope. So like I said before, they're adding more details, adding more things. There's more stuff included in their quote than the guy who's just putting together a composite deck, whatever it is, bare minimum kind of thing.
With rails.
And they're communicating it better too.
And coffee beans.
Yeah.
You got it done real quick.
Speaking of rails, did you hear about the Coke and the coffee beans?
I'm glad you kept up with that. I thought you'd lost it.
No, I was just waiting to finish my ramble. Number 17 is the after sales service.
This is the last item. After sales service. This is so good.
After sales service. So these people, who you call these people,
are the ones that build decks for you.
The good builders are going to have a better approach to things after the deck is all said and done too. They may do follow-ups. They may come back and check on the deck. They may have phone to ask you how it is. They'll answer the phone when you call them. They'll answer questions if you call them afterwards. They're in it for the long haul, not just kind of like wipe their hands of it and leave.
Yep.
Right? So whereas you get Buddy, Stan in a van to come in and do it.
Mike on the bike.
Then
Mike on a bike.
Yeah. If Stan in the van gets a little overwhelmed, you might call Mike on a bike. It's okay. You don't need to bring your own tools. Just bring your bike. I got the tools here.
Stan left him. He was trying to get out of here so fast. He left all his tools behind. That we're good, Mike. Looks like he's got a stiletto hammer. Trade you for an alpha knife.
The next one is number 18 and... Yeah, 18. So demand.
These last three better be real zingers.
Oh, they're good ones. Demand/marketing to higher clientele. So if somebody is in higher demand, they may have earned the right to charge more for their services. And if you actually want them because they've marketed themselves in a certain way and they've done, like they have a good business and you want to hire them more, you're willing to pay more, therefore they can charge more if they want. Even over a guy that maybe necessarily might do as good a job as them, but they haven't done all the marketing and they haven't branded themselves a certain way to be able to justify charging a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right?
That's pretty good. That's
number 19 is design work or 3D designs. So a lot of these professional outfits now are starting to do this kind of thing. They're giving you a visual of what they're going to build before it ever gets built, which is a really, really good thing. Because it clears up that whole scope of work and what's included and what's going to look like. Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah. That one job would have had no stairs on it. Your job?
Right.
That guy?
What the hell?
Yeah.
No. I need to get off the deck.
So what's the plan?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I saw a trampoline in your yard and I thought, silly to not use that every time you leave the deck.
Yeah.
Why not just jump onto your trampoline?
Way more fun.
Here,
but
I'll show you.
It takes time and expertise to put that stuff together. So somebody's going to do a 3D design for you. Even a basic one's might take them a couple hours to kind of put that whole render together. If you're doing something much more crazy, it could take days. Like it's different, and they may be charging for that as well, separately from the quote. But if they're doing a basic one that's included in the quote, well, that time has to be accounted for as well.
Yeah.
And
I don't do enough of those. The 3D design things. I don't do any of them actually. I've done none.
Yeah.
So for sure I've done not enough of them.
Those?
Done zero. Big fat zero. But they would clear up a lot of questions.
Absolutely.
The idea of even just getting the color correct on the house, like that has happened. You know what I mean? Where
Yep.
somebody thinks they're getting one color and it shows up. It's like, yeah,
It's not the one.
boy, I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Yep. Google reviews, says Vinyl Guys. Not sure what he's referring to
go ahead.
exactly,
Give us
but
one.
maybe that they've
Give her a
earned
head.
the right to. Yeah.
Has he given us one?
No, we need to swap reviews with him. I've been meaning to do that for a while. Go in there and review him, and then hope that he picked up on that and be like, I should return the favor. So,
How about he does one first and then we'll do.
Ooh,
Wait, you show me yours, and then I'll show you mine.
easy. Remember when I came in outside and told you that we had to record a podcast at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I showed Bryce.
I walk out. Nobody listening.
I showed Bryce the
Did you show him the gesture?
universal
Oh, I see.
signal for.
This is going to be something that you get when you tune into the Instagram during the recording. You're not going to see in the podcast. But I went out and I was like, he's in the forklift and he couldn't hear me. Or maybe I showed it. I was like, hey, podcast 1:30. And he's like, okay, what? And I was like, this was a mic podcast. And all he could see is me going. He's like, you should probably maybe rethink the symbol for podcast.
Meet me upstairs, Wade.
Yeah. Hey, you. Or no, I didn't say podcast. I just went out and was like, hey, 1:30.
Meeting 1:30. That's what you yelled.
Okay. 20 is the permits. And this is a zinger. This is a good one. Because for sure, probably the stand in a van, Mike and a bike is not. I want to use Mike and a bike permanently now. I think that's a good one. He's not pulling a permit.
More than anything, I hope that Mike rolls up here on a pedal bike Monday.
So, and the permit process is important. And if a business is, if they're a professional outfit that does everything the right way, they're also going to pull a permit for the job. And so there's a cost associated with that. It could be as little as a couple $100, but if it's a big deck, it might be a couple $1,000 if this thing is engineered and there's stamped drawings and everything else. We're talking thousands now, right? And so Joe Blow, why are you 45 when the other guy's 27? It's like, well, I've got $4,000 worth of engineered plans stamped and permits that I pulled. So there's a start, right? And then all these other 20 things, 19 things, that's the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. So pay up. Give me your deposit. Let's go.
So there is a list of 20 things that maybe you're doing that you have forgotten to let your customer know that you're doing. And so they're having a hard time wondering or figuring out why you're more than the next guy.
We talked about that, like the portfolio when you present your bid, all of the things listed in there.
Yeah.
You could just list these things. Here's my insurance. Here's what I use for hanger nails. Here's what I use for.
A lot of these things could be cleared up in some sort of dossier portfolio thing that you could
This
present
is
at
a
the time of the bid.
picture of my stairs that I build. My stairs come mitered.
This is my style. Yeah, that's a huge one too, right? And that fits into the fit and finish and the little bit extra and the craftsman's touch and whatever else you want to call it.
They're G-taped and they're
10 ways
mitered.
to build stairs, right?
Yeah.
And some of them
And don't even get me started on how many ways there are to skin a cat, because it's a lot.
Oh, it's endless.
But stairs, there's only 10 ways.
Yeah. But stairs could be quick and dirty and easy and crappy looking, or they could be a staircase, like a nice feature of the deck,
Curved.
which takes a lot more effort.
Rounded rails.
Materials, etc. So we did it under an hour.
You should go over that again. Recap.
Why?
We need a button for that. It's the recap.
Because I need it.
What do you do with it?
I put it up on YouTube.
Oh.
Making that money.
Didn't you have somebody come in today that said that they found us off?
No
Was
way.
I talking to somebody?
He's
like, I watched your video.
I had a customer yesterday who said that he came here because of YouTube and you're running some stuff on Global. I've had 4 people in the last week come in because of Global.
I heard a guy today say that.
We should have started advertising earlier. We probably could have done better.
in the heat of the season like that.
Next year.
We
Dunk.
so we were supposed to start Global in April, and then the whole pandemic hit, and we pushed it off, and then went back. I was like, "Okay, now let's go." What was I going to say? I had a guy today who came in. He's like, "Hey, we came here because we watched your guys' videos, but it wasn't on your website. It was someplace, and it had a bunch of them." That's pretty much verbatim how he described it to me. I was like, "Was it on YouTube?"
On the internet?
I don't really know. It was just a place. It was just like you guys, a bunch of like a list of videos, but not on your website. It's Gotta be YouTube. But anyway. So we'll go through that again real quick.
Could have been on Reddit. Are we on Reddit?
Teru?
No, but we could be.
We could be. We should be. Where would you put keeping the site clean at the end of every day? I thought about adding that in there, and then, yeah, I don't know. Is that something you charge extra?
I mean,
It's certainly a thing. That's a difference between Mike and the bike and a professional outfit.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't have anything to clean up.
Right?
Where's he
You
gonna
can't
put
even-
it? In the basket of his
basket.
bike?
Well, it depends how big his wagon is, I guess. Maybe he's got a trailer.
I hope Mike's last name rhymes with wagon.
Nope. I got nothing that rhymes with wagon.
Okay. Bagging.
Tagging. Bagging.
Yeah, that's something that I always tried to stay on top of at job sites was cleaning up
Dragging.
after the fact, because a lot of contractors don't. They just kind of leave a mess around. And
Maybe Mike was dragging a wagon.
Mike and a bike dragging a wagon. Yep. So that's 20 things. Let's go through them again. Number 1, insurance and WCB coverage. Number 2, registered or incorporated business adds some cost to everything. Number 3, quality employees that have extra training.
They clean your sites for you. There it is.
Yeah, they carry a bit more. Number 4, operational overhead, such as trucks, maybe a showroom and whatnot, trailers. Number 5, they're going to own some specialty tools that the other guys haven't invested in, which will result in a finer finish. Number 6, the craftsman's touch means they're a little bit more picky about the details of the deck. They'll make those extra trips to the saw when another guy won't necessarily. Or they'll eat the cost of a board that they cut shorter. Like, that's a big one, right? They'll go, like, they won't be happy with the finish themselves. They'll be
That
like, I'm
happens.
eating that one. That's $100 off me, but I'm not leaving that miter that open. It's a 1/4 inch short, and we did that. Those guys will do it. The guy who's there, like, let you buy your own materials and he just wants to slap together on the weekend, he ain't eating a board. I can tell
Nope.
you that for sure.
Yeah.
And he's also 25 times more likely to make that cut in the first place.
Yeah.
Wrong. Number 7, higher quality finish or more complete finish. Number 8 was the warranty that's provided by a good outfit. Number 9, experience. You're paying for the 20 years, not the 20 hours. Number 10, higher quality products when it comes to accessories or maybe even the decking and the railing, just getting better products within that quote. Number 11, the special touches, like we talked about, the folded corners. I actually had biscuited corners in here as well. Some guys will spend the extra time trying to make sure those miters stay closed by biscuiting or pocket screwing or all these different things, where the other guys, it's just like staple, on to the next.
I want to build a deck with you one day of all of the things that we think are wrong. I want to do one. I want to build like just a 4x4 landing in like all of the bad things we've seen.
Put that on your list of videos we should make.
Yeah.
Just a comedy of errors building a deck.
Yeah, it's like the
Use those really good deck boards.
deck don'ts or whatever, something like that. But
Deck don'ts.
yeah, anyways.
Perfect. Number 12, using better fasteners. Number 13, building beyond the code. Number 14, doing things that are going to add extra longevity to the project, like taping the joist, using some standoffs, mostly revolving around water management and that point there.
Yep.
Number 15, a more complete and accurate takeoff of what's required to do the job. Number 16, a wider scope of work. So they're including things that the other guys just flat out is not including.
Stairs.
And having proper communication with the client to know what they want within the scope of the work in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to act like quote in skirting if that's something they didn't actually want. Like, that'll be on you. But
Yep.
and that's actually maybe a check for the other guy too. Like, did they include everything you wanted? Because like I said, in my case, they hadn't. After sales service. So the follow-ups, the being available if you need something from them, the helping you with warranties if you need that. We got to restart the video here.
Oh, you lost that one comment.
Just barely.
That guy commented and you lost it.
Oh, well. That was number 17. Number 18 was the fact that they've maybe earned the ability, what am I trying to say? They've earned the right to charge a little bit more because they've created a demand for themselves. Mm-hmm. And so therefore they can be a little bit more choosy about who they work for. They can work for clients that have a higher budget, that are willing to pay a little bit more for something like that. And number 19 was the fact that some guys are going to include some design work in this. It may just be a sketch. It may be a 3D design. It may be a full-blown like walkthrough 3D design, but they're including something to help with the visuals. And number 20 is the permits part, the ever-important permits part. They are maybe getting proper plans done, getting permits submitted, doing it all the right way, and the other guy's probably not. There was a comment we missed at the end before that live ended. So
was
whoever
TC
asked
it
that
was
comment,
TC Dex, right?
TC Dex asked a question or had a comment that we missed. So if you want to tape that back in there, we'll address it if it needed addressing. What else? Is there anything that you would have added to this list, Bryce, as a homeowner and not in the industry? Is there anything on that list that opened your eyes or that you thought was missing that you're still wondering? Or
Tell me how you think that list could have been any freaking longer.
I know how it could have been shorter.
yeah.
It just feels like all of these things.
Listen,
require...
I made a list of 20 things and got through it in less time than Wade's list of 5 things last week.
Yeah, that was crazy. Well, you were interjecting a lot.
Planning. I hadn't done proper planning. That's all.
Sorry.
So, like, it seems like it's much easier to just go to like a retail store and ask for a quote, because all of these things you're gonna get.
But not all retail stores will give you an install quote, right?
Right.
Like if you go to if you go to a lumber yard, they'll give you some information of product, but they won't give you an install quote.
Mm-hmm. Just seems to be the big problem.
Shane's idea of go there and get a good scope and understanding of what you want on your deck. They can help you with that. They can tell you what lights you want and what railing you want.
The reason we created these sheets, these order sheets that we use in the store that ask all the appropriate questions that we need our salespeople to ask is to make sure that we're capturing the entire scope of what the customer wants to be done.
Right.
Right. This is just a checklist, because often before we had these things, year 1, year 2, it's like you ask the things off the top of your head and then somebody goes through the estimate and it's like, well, were they wanting skirting? Oh, shoot. I forgot to ask if they wanted skirting. Phone call. Did you want skirting? What's skirting? Shoot. This is really hard to explain over
Drive
the phone
back
now.
down to the store.
Did they want lights? Frick, I forgot to ask about that too. And so we just made this list that has all the things we need to know to do an accurate takeoff and quote. And so that just helps us to find that scope a bit better here.
Yeah.
So we can provide a more consistent delivery back to the customers, whether their project is small and simple or large and complex. We're asking the right questions to be accurate with it.
Yeah.
So there's a few questions that come in here, and Bryce can think about his next question. Eric Theroux says, good builder would order hangers and install them. That's like that, and that's special, a funny story about that, Eric, is our clientele this year has been about 75% DIY, which I think is higher than previous years. I would have to, I don't know that.
Those
for
are
sure,
year 1 numbers. It was really heavy DIY and then
a lot of DIY this year. So we do these takeoffs with the proper materials that you're supposed to use to do the stuff.
Just hangers and hanger screws.
And then
SD screws.
Sometimes people roll back in and we're like,
90% of the time those come
I'm
back.
all done. I have some returns. Oh, okay. Sounds good. That's normal. Puts down all the hanger screws. Here they are. What did you do in your hangers if you didn't use the screws that I provided?
Well, I just used the deck screws. I already had them out.
I just glued them up.
Yeah. Well, I had a stapler. It's a swing line though, so it's really good. But they'll return things that they clearly needed. You needed those. You take those back now and you put them in your
I didn't
deck.
need any of those GRKs.
Nope, I don't think I need them. You can't force, how do you force them to keep them? They're thinking you're just trying to get them to stop returning and stuff, whatever. It's like, no, you
that's
had
true
those for
too,
a
though.
reason. Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah. So that's funny. Harpeth Dex. I've struggled on his name before. Harpeth Dex, I think. Is the lumber shortage and prices going up to increase demand for metal framing? Is it going to
increase?
Is it going up to increase?
Paraphrase
is
it,
it
Shane.
going up? Is the lumber going up going to increase the demand for? I can't see. It's the perfect opportunity for steel to come in and take some market share. If lumber actually, and I don't know if it'll stay up where it is, but if lumber, which just went up about 10, 11% on most items, and is going to go up another 25%, or has as of yesterday, not in our store, but the higher up distribution, when we go to buy new stuff, when we run out, it's going to be 25% higher again. 35% increase.
It's still not.
Holy smokes.
It's still not where steel is.
Right. But now, so steel was 4 times more last year. It was 2.5 times more this year. And now it's 2 times more this year.
Yeah.
With the lumber price increases.
And it lasts way longer.
Forever.
Instead
of 8, 12, 15, 20. Maybe 20 years?
Maybe 20. 20.
So,
okay. So yeah, we had a guy come in the other day and ask about steel. And I told him that exact same sales pitch. I was like, this is a great opportunity to get into it because lumber is just going up. And so if you're really thinking about it, so I don't know where he lives. He must live in a rainforest because he said this is the third deck he's done on the same house. He's replacing it for a third time. And he's like, it rots out so fast. And I was like, why? And he's like, it just is. He's like,
I keep watering it.
My deck is rotting. And I was
I'll
like,
tell him to email the cabinet guy. So
something's not right. Yeah. He's obviously not using cabinet grade material. Mm-hmm. So anyways, he's done. He built it when he built the house. Like, he built the deck when he built the house, and then he's replaced it once, and he's now going to replace it a third time. And second time, third build. And he was like, this will be the last time.
So is it just the price of steel that's more, or is it like
yes,
all of the fasteners? Does that like really take it up a notch?
It all goes up.
It can compound. The fasteners are probably a little bit more.
Labor's going to be a little bit more too.
I mean, you need a heavier duty staple to go through the steel, right? You don't
special
want
staples.
You don't want to fire a wood staple into the steel.
So it's around
Passos.
Here, the labor is going to be a little bit more too because people haven't done steel as much, and so they're going to be like they're going to want to upcharge for that because it's going to take me more time. It's like, anyways.
But anyways, it's certainly going to go that way. I know.
I'm ready. I'm going to sell it to him. You watch.
Do it. Yeah. I know that in the States, there's a guy in the Facebook groups, Precision Carpentry, Precision Construction, something like that. Does almost nothing but steel, but he's used a little bit of everything. He's done some Fortress stuff, some Trek stuff, and he just goes and gets his own like G90 steel C-channel framing, which is way less money than maybe like a marketed product that's been kind of
powder
tweaked to work for and powder coated, tweaked to work for decking, whatever. If you just go buy just general joist, like steel joists, he says that stuff. He's like, what if I told you that that's actually less than lumber? And it's like, if you can start getting into that, and you got to do a few jobs before you become efficient with it. But like the steel can be less than what Trex and Fortress are doing. So anyways, it's got to happen. I'll bet you there's a lot of benefits to it, right?
If you could get to like only 50% more, it would be on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I don't know at what point is it not the price anymore, and it's more this resistance to change from contractors. You know what I mean? Like even twice as much. Is it really that big of a deal? Like on a $20,000 deck, you've got what, $2,000 of framing?
Yeah, but your WCB is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
So your $20,000 deck with wood framing goes to $22,000 of steel framing. Is that really not that much of a deterrent?
That's not a barrier,
right?
But it probably goes to $26,000 because of the labor.
Well, they might charge more for labor, but
so you got a little bit more. Like you got a little bit more for your steel, you got a little bit more for your fasteners, you got a little bit more for your railing complications, you got a little bit more for your labor.
It might die before it ever gets to the labor part of it, though. Sometimes, right? Just like the guys have to start offering it first.
Would you guys be charging more to deliver steel too? Because no,
I wouldn't.
It just feels light. Like it's such a it's light.
It's light.
Oh, okay.
But I think there would need to be a bit of a premium because it's likely to be damaged more often. So you bang the side of a 2x10 and it's like, that's no big deal. You can still kind of build with that. But if you wrinkle a 2x6 joist, it's like you can't work with that.
Yeah. Structurally it's kind of lost its integrity a little bit.
Okay, go back.
TC Dex wants to know how to get to the notifications for the live.
Wants to watch more of the lives.
Didn't we go through that?
We
went through that.
What episode was that?
Not with him, though.
I don't know, a while
we talked
ago.
about that last week.
We had to go
2 weeks ago.
I remember you just like...
So go to Instagram.
Go to Instagram.
Wait, mine's loading up here.
We're going to wait.
Wait a minute.
Because it loads.
Go to the Ultimate Deck Shop main page.
Go to the Ultimate Deck Shop main page.
Search us.
Ultimate.
I'm gonna scroll the gram while we're doing this.
You're gonna just do it along with me. Oh no. No, I can't get there. There we go.
Oh.
Go to the main page. Hit. Oh no, where'd it go?
While you're looking that up, Eric Taru says he went to a job site with pro framers doing the work, and he found a huge box of hangers under the deck. They were there, not used.
So you hit the spot that says following if you're not already following.
Sorry.
Hit the spot that says following.
So go to our profile, hit the button that says following because you're already following us.
Notifications.
Go to notifications and then live.
Live videos.
Live videos. You can get notification for anything you want, but live videos is one of those things. So you can do that. Quigley Deck says the magnets work better on the steel framing.
Well done, Quigs. Looks like we got a 5-star review recently here.
Have you guys seen any traction with potential with aluminum framing?
Aluminium.
And I do think that one's a little bit cost prohibitive yet. I think aluminum is probably the answer, right? Like steel is probably a stopgap in the event that aluminum ever gets cheaper. Because aluminum would be lighter again to work with. Longer spans, I think, than steel even, isn't it? Some of the stuff that...
That depends what it is, yeah.
What was that product? They were like the spans were crazy. Dexpan? Right in the name.
Yeah, DEX.
Doesn't need to be powder coated necessarily. It's not going to rust and whatever.
Oxidize.
Yeah. And so I think aluminum would be awesome to work with. And you could cut it easier, right? You could cut it with...
Yep.
You wouldn't need like metal cutting.
Yeah, you could do like a thick wall.
But
you could do a thicker wall. It'd feel better. I'd feel better about it probably.
Yeah.
Working with aluminum.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's start an aluminum extruding company and build some decking.
Why not?
Right? What are you doing tomorrow?
Decking.
You busy tomorrow?
I don't know. We could take a lot of like. Do we have any damaged railing posts? We could just make small stair landings out of 2-inch square tubing. New England Deck Pro says any interview episodes coming up. Not that I don't like listening to just you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Even
we
he's
were
tired
trying to
of
line
listening to
up
you.
Jason Varney.
He's busy.
I haven't gotten back to him. We should get that lined up. And no, I don't have anything in the pipe after that.
Give us some suggestions. Tell us who you want to.
Who do you want to hear from?
We'll message a couple.
Maybe
guys.
this is his passive way of getting an invite.
Oh,
Not that I don't like listening to you guys, but I like listening to myself too. Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
that's pretty tricky.
But anyways, if there's people you guys want to hear from on the podcast, let us know and we can try to line them up. We generally kind of wait for people to reach out to us a lot of times. We've reached out to a couple people here and there, but a lot of times it's who comes stuff. Eric Teru, aluminum manufactured locally, so it can be done here. It's manufactured locally. So
Yeah, beauty.
okay, well, shoot interview suggestions into the chat if you so feel that you want to hear from somebody specifically.
Or on the DM.
Or in the DM.
We're gonna arm
wherever.
wrestle right now.
Is that how we're ending this?
What?
Are we actually doing this? Like I'll keep assuming we're not. I have no desire to.
I just feel like we hyped it up last week, and then like people were asking about it. The arm wrestling. I asked
arm
it.
wrestling.
I was like,
That's
are we
right. I was
gonna
like, I missed that.
we're gonna arm wrestle to end this thing or what?
Go for it.
What if I?
I don't know. I'm waiting to hit the button because I don't know what's happening. See you next week.
See you next week.
You've been listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Brought to you by the Ultimate Deck Shop. Shop with us at www.ultimatedeckshop.com or check us out at all the social networks we can keep up with. Hit us up for any collaboration or sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.